Hello, players. Welcome to the first episode of the Players Podcast. The date of recording is 29th of December 2024. This is your host, Carnage. Of course, this is not my original name, not new name. This is my in-game name, the IGN that I adorn. Of course, I'm a gamer. This is a podcast which will address gaming, all forms, PC, either console or PC or mobile or any new form. If it comes, I will try to cover up all the aspects, all the events to my best of the capacity, and based on my choices, my likes, because this is something I am doing for my passion. And like me, I think many others also do it just for passion. And if you are doing something for passion, and if you keep adding on layers which you don't like that much, it will lead to your passion becoming into a burden for yourself. So I will try to opinionate on or give my opinions on things, news, events of gaming. But excuse me if I miss some, because it's at the end of the day a personal perspective. So as we said, perspective, the channel is the TPP, or the podcast is named the TPP, the Players Podcast. As you know, it's a wordplay on the famous gaming term TPP, which is the third person perspective, which is a mode, or which is the perspective in the game. You see your character as well as the environment, the enemies. The famous secondary to this perspective, this form of viewing, POV in games, is the first person view, FPP, the first person perspective. So it came to me, it came to my mind very, you can say incidentally. I've been thinking to follow my passion of gaming for a long time, but as my Twitter bio says, the Romeo Juliet, me being the Juliet, the game being Romeo, and due to studies and academics and career, gaming gets sidelined for many kids due to lack of resources or many other things, society, your parents, until you leave your house and are earning enough to support yourself, you have to I'm at loss of words. I mean, until you are with your parents, you live with your parents, you are supported by your parents, till then you have to consider what they think is right. You have to consider what they opinionate about what you should do or what you shouldn't do. So these are some things which are, I think, similar for everyone all around the globe. And gaming certainly comes under the umbrella of those things which are certainly not supported by all of the parents all around the world. So I am still not at the moment of my life that I am able to support myself. Yeah, I can and I will. And when I will be able to earn and support my gaming passion, the passion for games, start gaming, I mean, especially the PC games, because hardware is expensive. For that, I play games. I play games on Android, so they are mostly mobile games. I think I have played PC games when I was small, or you could say teen. But being honest, I have not played most of the titles, the most famous titles. If you can think of games, the titles which are famous and are the primes of every genres of the games, there are 99% chance that I have not played that game. So, but I think I know much about stuff, but I have played them. I have a long list of games that I want to play, mostly PC. And so I got what do you say, mistracked or what. So what I was saying, that I always wanted to game, and when I will learn, I will surely support my gaming. But I wanted to open a podcast also back in 2017-18, when I was in my college. I talked about having a podcast with friends, and as the friends are, they joked about it, and I also dropped the idea. At that time also, I had an idea, the potential a podcast had, but I didn't follow through, as many of the ideas that I had, which are now somewhat successful or somewhat fruitful, that I didn't follow through. But yeah, the main thing is that I always wanted to have a podcast, but I had a, what do you say, framework and plan, an idea that I would first do gaming, and then once I have played games, then I would start a podcast. And secondly, I wanted some game reviewing shit, to do some game reviewing shit. But as my main path is being stressed longer and longer, a few days back it struck my mind, why not do what you can do and leave rest to the time. There's no harm in opening a podcast channel or reviewing games. Yeah, you cannot review the games you have not played, but I have played many. So with this, I want to also announce that the Players Podcast has an official Twitter handle where every Saturday I am going to review games that I have played in my lifetime. These will be uh, posted as tweets every Saturday as gaming memoirs, and I think and the first one I have uploaded already. If you want, you can go and check it at x.com at TPP Perspective, and I will be posting weekly game reviews. So if you have anything, if you have anything to say about the game or my review, you can comment down there under that tweet. Or if you have played that game and you want to share some experiences, your own experiences, write down there, and I might share with our listeners, which I don't think I will get in near future, but eventually I will keep sharing it on the podcast. And as of the podcast, I will be trying to upload weekly, every Sunday or fortnightly. I don't know, because one thing that I lack is consistency. But yeah, I'll try. I will keep on. I will keep on writing down topic notes, what I need to talk about, what I need to opinionate, and that's all podcast will basically comprise of now. But in future, nobody can tell what will happen in future. We will see. We'll see. So now there are a few more things that I have written down, what I had to share with you all guys in my first podcast. The second thing is, on Twitter there are two hashtags that you can use to reach out to me and ask me opinions about or answers about. So under my Twitter handle, that's at TPP Perspective, you can also use the hashtag Q&A and ask for any personal question if you want. Yeah, be sure that all the Q&As for the personal questions will not be answered. I might or might not select one every episode and feature it with the name of the user, of course, who has asked the question, and I might answer them. And anything other than personal question, any non-personal questions, or if you want my opinion on anything, or you want to talk about anything, or you want anything to be discussed on the podcast, you can use hashtag TPP Perspective under my Twitter posts, or you can post on Twitter with this hashtag at TPP Perspective, hashtag TPP Perspective, and I will answer them either on Twitter, and if they are good enough, I will, or if they think, if I think it won't be able to answer it on the bounds of Twitter itself, I will bring it on the podcast for sure. And yeah, so give me a follow at TPP Perspective, the Players Podcast, at Twitter, x.com. And yeah, So then now let's talk about something else. As of today is the first game review that I put. It's about a game that many of you would have played, and it's still one of the big franchise that is popular among people. People play. There are many games of it. It's famous game, and you might have played it or seen many streamers, big streamers, play them. There are movies of these franchise, and that was my first game. If anybody has guessed it, good for you, but I think the hints are very vague. So the first game that I played was Mario. Actually, it's very difficult to pinpoint what was my first game that I have played, but I remember for sure that when I was a kid, when I was 2 or 3 years old, my father bought me, not bought me, my bought brought for us a console, a gaming console, and the console. It was something. It was a Nintendo knockoff, and it had Mario on it. There were 2 or 3 more games, but I think for being the first episode or first review, I think out of those 2-3 games, picking up the Mario was best, as what it has become of now, how big it is, how famous it is, how good it is. And with this also, I want to give a shout out to my father, because I don't know what his real thoughts about gaming is. He's fond of sports. He likes sports. He watches sports. He has played lots of sports, but definitely I am confused. I am confused because he was a person who bought me, a child who was 2 or 3 years old, a gaming console. The child who doesn't know anything about game or the pleasure playing a video game can bring. He just bought it for me, so that makes me think he has pretty good image of game. But then and now is somewhat different, somewhat ideology different. I don't want to delve deep into psyche. I just want to say, if in any future, I am doing it anonymously. So if in future, if he hears it, thank you, Dad, for introducing me to gaming. And it's one of the few wonderful things you have done for me, and you have done many things for me. Shout out, Dad. So yeah, so as of my review, which you can check, which is very on Twitter, which is very short. I try to give my reviews under the word limits of Twitter or x.com itself. I said I don't remember it exactly, but I said something. It was vibrant. Mario was vibrant. It has beautiful sound design, very beautiful sound effects. Background music was good. Its mechanics was good. It was challenging, but still easy for a for a child to play. And it was beautiful, all in all beautiful. And I think that's the main reason that Mario is still popular, still people play it, and it has evolved into all those formats, all of those modes, and all of different types of genres that Mario has picked up. I think they have done a very good job, and it's a good game. How much I have rated it out of 10? For that, you have to check on Twitter on x.com, the Players Podcast at the rate TPP Perspective. I have rated it out of 10. You can go and check if you want to know. That's for the info. So now, second thing that I have noted down for this first podcast is the Game Awards thing. So, I mean, it's not the astrobot winning the Game of the Year thing. This is the hottest thing that's going around, and I think if anybody who joins this podcast, hears this podcast, or even looks at my tweets, I think I don't think, I suppose that they have a query about how I think or how I opinionate on certain aspects or what my thought is. So I think being Game of the Year, Astrobot, I needed to include it in the first episode of the podcast. So Astrobot, was it the Game of the Year? Simply, I would say no. I don't think Astrobot should have been given the Game of the Year, and also I think there has been some foul play, some lobbying, but I have just this is just my opinion. I'm not convicting anyone or blaming anyone, but I think Black Myth Wukong was a bigger, better game than Astrobot. The player feedback, the media hype that Black Myth made, the graphics, the gameplay, the story, the mythology, I think Black Myth Wukong would have been the Game of the Year, but also to add, I didn't vote for it. I didn't vote for Black Myth Wukong nor for Astrobot. I won't say what I voted for, but Astrobot definitely was the weaker nominee out of all those. In fact, I would say the DLC for Elden Ring, Shadow of the Earth Tree, was a better choice for the Game of the Year. I know it's not a game, but if you see it as a whole, also this is where my lack of gaming experience exposure makes me doubt my thoughts and my ideas, my opinions. I have not played Astrobot, so in this scenario in which I have not played Black Myth Wukong, I have not played Elden Ring, I have not played Astrobot, I have seen Black Myth Wukong, I have seen whole of the Elden Ring and the DLC. On that basis, I don't think Astrobot would have beaten Black Myth Wukong or Shadow of the Earth Tree, in fact. And based on other people's experience playing the game, the hype it made in market, the reviews it get on Steam and other media outlets, I seriously think that Astrobot couldn't have given a fight to these two games. Yeah, it was a PS5 Pro launch game. PS5 Pro is supposed to be the next big thing in the PlayStation franchise. Bigger, better, powerful console. Most probably it has been developed, as they say, for GTA 6 compatibility, which I doubtful is going to come in 2026. Uh, Irrespective of facts, the mythology, the amount of people that played Black Myth Wukong, of being it available everywhere, and the astrobot just being a PS5 exclusive, I cannot imagine how even it got selected. If it was people's choice of voting or something like that, no, I don't want to stretch it. You know me, I have introduced myself. I don't think Black Myth Wukong was a inferior game to Astrobot and shouldn't have won the g.o.t.y award. In fact, I myself didn't vote for it. Yeah. Tweet me at TPP Perspective what your thoughts on game of the year. Did you vote for Astrobot? Did you play Astrobot? And if anything else, as I have already mentioned, if you have anything question about me, tweet at TPP Perspective with hashtag Q&A for any personal questions regarding me. If good, I might select one every episode, and else anything related to gaming or anything you want to talk about, and there are no limits, I will use them in next podcast. Use hashtag TPP Perspective or tweet at TPP Perspective on x.com and drop a follow if you want. And thank you. It's your host Carnage signing out. And also, if you visit Twitter, if you want, you can give feedback for what I can improve with the podcast, and or how did you feel about it. Follow me on Spotify, follow me on YouTube, wherever you are listening it. I might upload it, or even I'm so unsure. I would also like to say that follow me at the place where you hear it. I don't know where I will be putting it. I have set up the Spotify account. It's not up yet. It is supposed to be up by tomorrow. I'm supposed to upload it tomorrow on a Sunday. Let's see what happens. So follow me on Twitter at TPP Perspective. Follow the Players Podcast on any platform you're hearing, Spotify/YouTube/others. Tweet with the hashtags. If you have any query, give feedback at Twitter about the podcast. And if you want to check my gaming reviews, the memoir of games that I have played all my life, the first review is out. It will be out every Saturday, every week on my Twitter at TPP Perspective. Check it out. Peace.